We are going to be looking at Nahar Spinning Mills Limited today. It is a very small company. Spinning mills are basically companies that take raw cotton or any form of textile for that matter, any kind of raw textile material, and they use machines to knead thread. The thread is then eventually used to make the textile or the fabric, which is then used to manufacture garments or bed sheets or curtains or anything else, right? So spinning is at the very inception or at the very outset of the textile integrity process. All right. Now Nahar Spinning Mills is a part of a larger group of companies called the Nahar Group of Companies. If you look at the Nahar Group of Companies, you'll see that they include several companies, out of which their Oswal Woolen Mills Limited is their crown jewel, so to speak. These group of companies, they specialize in woolen and basically winter wear, as can be seen by the brand they own. Monte Carlo is a winter wear brand, basically inners or anything that's made of wool and stuff like that. What I would have liked to have seen is a few more brands here because their sales are primarily targeted towards the winter seasons. But that is not the only thing they do. They have outputs at every stage, as we've seen in Nahar Spinning, also in textiles. So in every stage they have something that they export as well. It is a fairly large company that owns several listed companies under its bracket. It is headed by Mr. Oswal. Alright. And uh, they go and produce everything right from yarns to textiles to knit garments, woven textiles. Also, they do financial services, sugar, and polyfilms. I found this area and these few companies here that cater to the financial sector a little off. I would rather prefer a company focus on its core integrity. It could work in its favor if these companies are made for tax handling purposes or to decentralize certain issues and just create separate companies and keep it away from their core business. But as a company, I would rather see them own their core integrity, which is textiles, rather than catering to these things, because then it creates a lot of management hassles as well. In terms of the website, I would say it is not that great. I would have liked to seen better execution for the size of the company it is. Uh, I mean, there is uh, advertising for the person who's designed the website and doesn't seem very clean or very refined. Yes? Alright, moving on. So, right now it's trading around 100 rupees. Yes. In terms of its market cap, it's extremely small at around 377 crores. If I look at the 5-year chart, the company more or less trades around 100 rupees. It has seen certain highs. Obviously, in the March lockdown, it went all the way down to 22. The textile sector has been suffering for quite some time. So you can see before the March drop down as well, there was this area wherein it was not performing well because of the textile slowdown. In terms of the bounce back, there has been a decent enough bounce back to pre-COVID levels. It even shot up a little bit more before that, coming all the way till 2018-19 levels before the textile slowdown began. The Petrosky score is around 3, which is not that great. We know the company has been incurring losses in the past. Yes. In terms of the liquidity and the amount of chatter in the market, it's not that great again. The peers are Page Industries, Alok, Welspun, all of these are relatively very well known brands. But Nahar Spinning, not that much. Alright. Here we would like to take a better look at the graph. Right. Again, looking at the 2-year graph. So I like this graph particularly because it basically takes away the COVID cycle which came in here. Alright. Now as we can see that this stock was already oversold because of the textile slowdown. Hence the amount of correction that we saw in this stock wasn't that great. Alright. In terms of volume, as you can see, there hasn't been a great amount of volume here. Since it has been increasing, the volume has gone up pretty high. If I look at the position 5 years ago, the volume used to be very pre 2018. There used to be quite a lot of trades in this particular category or in this particular ticket. That has severely gone down. Again, textile slowdown. It is picking up again. Yes. All right. Now again, if you look at the product breakup, they haven't really given a product breakup here, but it primarily concerns itself with again spinning. Yes. We'll look at the financials in depth now. Alright. So it's a standalone company. There is no consolidated figures available because it doesn't have any other subsidiaries or holdings. Yes. Now, let us look at the P&L. Alright. In terms of sales, it began with around 1400 in 2000 back in 2011. It has consistently gone up, but it has seemed to have hovered around 2000 for the past 5-6 years now. Yes. The one thing I like about this company is it has been operatingly positive throughout. The expenses have never crossed the sales figure. So that makes me believe that the company doesn't need to take losses. It can very well sell its product. The margin keeps on varying, yes, but it's always sold at a profit. Other income isn't significant. The depreciation again had reached a high of 131 and has been consistently going down. Considering the company is doing a little bit of capex, I expect this to maybe slightly go up in the future. This is again a major area of concern, but again I'll tell you why. So their interest expenses had gone up all the way till 114, 110. It had hovered around 70, 80, but it was consistently coming down up until the slowdown began. Yeah, from that point on, it has been consistently going up. Now, yes, the industry and COVID are to blame for this, but if this is not controlled, this could be an area of concern for this particular stock. Alright, in terms of their overall profitability, they have been profitable more or less, but the last 2-3 years have been a significant turmoil in that. Again, the slowdown here. 2019 they were able to have a slight recovery, but again the COVID made them lose another 53 CR here. Free cash flow in 2019, again a negative in 2018, consistent with the profits. Yes. 2020 I see that there has been a operating free cash flow of around 60 as compared to 250, 382, 163, which was obviously much higher earlier. In terms of their capex, they've invested around 80 or 83.94. That has mainly or primarily come from their operating activities and also from financing, which means they have taken more loans on their books. Looking at the ratios, I think for me what's important is current ratio. Again, textile is a credit lending industry, so you need to lend credit, so the current ratio 1.17 is alright. Anything more than 1 I'm comfortable with. Frankly, it should be around 1.5, but it's okay. Debt conversion cycle is okay. Again, as you can see, the margins have always been positive, but obviously they've gone down. If they're able to sustain even around a 10% margin, the stock can see a good upcycle from here, especially for the next financial year. The EPS on an average has been around, it is varied a lot, I would say, but looking at the past figures, anywhere between 15 to 20 is something that I can expect from normal operations. Yes, considering the capacity and everything. Basis that, if I look at a PE multiple which has historically been trading, which is around 10, I would say again slightly lower here, but again higher here, so I would say a multiple of 10 seems fair. So looking at that category, if a 15 or a 20 EPS multiplied by a PE of around 10 is around 150-200 levels. Right now it's trading at 104, so I expect it to go up from here about 50 odd % or so. Again, a very crude estimate. The dividend yield hasn't been that great, but again, it's good for a company of this size. Anywhere around 1-2% I'm happy with. The quarterly results, very important. As you can see here, December 2020 is what is available. The March results are yet to come. All of this is because of COVID, obviously. Yes. Mainly the reason for this, I would say, again, owing to operating profit, which has been negative for the first time here. Again, negative here. In terms of their interest cost, again, it has been relatively higher. Yes. I would say if they are able to maintain the December results, wherein the textile industry saw quite a boom, right? So 5.61, I would say even if they're able to do 60-70% of this, which comes to around 4 rupees, that would again yield them a 15-16 EPS per year, right? So again, our multiple theory then would stick in place. We look at a short video.
Sure. Dinesh Oswal, if I...
This is the chairman and MD, Dinesh Oswal, and yeah, just a short video to see his management style. And this is back in December, I believe. This is when the company saw the rise in price and the results are fairly good.
could also talk about, apart from US, where exactly have you seen additional orders coming in from? Are other countries as well looking at India as a viable option?
After COVID, all the countries in the world are looking for China plus one option. And in yarn, the US was not a traditional market. The yarn is mainly exported to Vietnam, Korea, Taiwan, Egypt, Mauritius, and other countries from where we are continuously getting a good and steady demand.
Right. Mr. Dinesh Nolka, the same question for you.
So, what he said again, just to cover it up quickly, the yarn has seen a good comeback. Also, since they were facing a lot of competition from China with the COVID onset, what is happening now is every country is looking as a second alternative, and India is that alternative. So, a lot of European, a lot of Western markets have opened up to India as well. So, Nahar Spinning is in a good position to exploit that and make sure that it comes back positive. Alright. The main concerns, just to sum up quickly what I think about the company's balance sheet we haven't looked at yet. Let's just look at that quickly. Alright. I think I'll go to yes. Alright. What you see here is a total liability of around 2000 crores, out of which 50% or more is more or less is financed by share capital and reserves, and 50% is financed by other liabilities and current liabilities. Current liabilities figure I'm okay with. Again, running working capital, you need this figure. Other liabilities within reasonable concern. I would have preferred this figure to be even lower if they can head towards a zero debt company, but again, with the ongoing interest rates, it's also a good thing to take advantage of that. Coming to their assets, current assets more than current liabilities, okay, a positive, not an issue. Manageable fixed assets is around 762, which is again okay. I'm sorry. Right, yes. So yeah, I mean, looks alright. Nothing of concern over here. Yes. So coming back to let us look at the shareholding, which I missed out. The promoters owned around 66% of the company, which is again a very positive news. In terms of the change in holdings, as you can see over the years, let us look at over the quarters. The holding has gone up, which is again a huge positive, from 65.39% to 65.7%. So the promoters are buying stocks, which creates confidence in the promoters and the company as well. The only concern that I would say I have about this particular. Also, sorry, I missed out. The book value right now is around 225 rupees, and the share is trading at 100 rupees, which is almost a 50% discount from book value. Yes, company is fundamentally good. Their loans are in check. Profitability is good. The sector future I look at spinning in India to grow as well. It is an overexploited sector, yes, but again they have good major players and they have the integrity, they have the system integrity right from producing yarns all the way till owning their own brands. They can take advantage of that. They will not get suppressed by price fluctuations within each sector. Their demand and supply chains are bound to be smoother than other industries, than other companies. The only concerns or two concerns I could have is firstly, I hope that they are gearing and taking loans to take advantage of the reduced interest rates, and also it's a short term thing because of COVID. Because if they're not able to control their interest rates, it might their interest payments, it might be an issue. The second thing that concerns me is the integrity. It's a relatively small company. There isn't much material out there. I don't know how much of the profits are being indicated, are being actually declared, and how much of what is going on in the background. So corporate governance might be an issue. But in terms of targets, right now it's trading around 104, 105. If the markets are stable or there's a slight uptrend, I see it going till 140, 150 levels.